Kelly, I appreciate it. Hi, everybody. My name is Wendy. I am an ARMLS content and training specialist. Today, we're going to talk about CubiCasa. Essentially, you'll be able to create a floor plan for all of your listings. I have a little bit of a presentation, and then we will jump into FlexMLS, and then I will also show you a live demo on how it works. So it does require some technology changes, so bear with me. And of course, this is your time as an office visit. If you have questions, feel free to unmute yourself and ask or find that chat box. Kelly and I will be able to answer any questions that hopefully that you might have. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So we'll talk a little bit about what is CubiCasa, the benefits of floor plans, and why they're important for your listings. We will review the technology that you need, so hopefully just your mobile device, the different types of floor plans available to you. We'll look into the CubiCasa dashboard on the web version. Of course, it'll also be available on your mobile device. If I have time, I'll go over some additional training resources with ARMLS. If you're going to follow along with me, totally fine. You can go to FlexMLS. That would be a good place to get started. If your goal is to just watch, listen, ask questions, take notes, that also works. All right, so this next screen, it's not displaying. Okay, here we go. Let's see if that works. There we go. All right, this next screen, this one right here, is a QR code. If you want to scan that while I'm on this screen, you're welcome to. I will show it again towards the end of class, but essentially this is how to get logged in to CubiCasa with your ARMLS information. So it's going to link CubiCasa and your ARMLS FlexMLS account information when you do your sign up. That way you'll get the 25% discounts on additional products. And of course, the light floor plans that ARMLS is providing for you. Again, if you missed this slide, right, you didn't have time to get your phone out, no worries. I'll show it a little bit later on. All right, so I've included, oh, I already talked about that. All right, so the next thing I wanted to show you is there is a demand gap on floor plans. There are consumers that want to see floor plans. So there's a demand gap in the United States when it comes to floor plans. Consumers want to see them, and they're already familiar with them on the rental side and multifamily side of things, but they're only in about 15% of active listings right now. If we look, my slides are just not moving as fast as I am. Let's try this again. I hope I don't have to do this every time. All right, so if we look at the NAR Home Buyer and Seller Survey, one of the questions asked is what website features on a listing are considered most valuable? And how can we see if the floor plan, and we can see that the floor plans are the most single desired add-on for listings to the consumer. This is after the standard photos and basic listing data. So the demand is there and it's remained unchanged over the past few years, with floor plans continuing to outrank things like virtual tours. My slideshow just does not want to work with me. So give me just a second. I'm just going to close it and then reopen it, see if it gives me different results. Un momento. Let's try this again. See if it likes me better. All right. I'm getting better results. This is awesome. All right, so why are floor plans important? It gives an easy way for buyers to understand if the property is a good fit for their life, other than any other digital assets. The reason why we say this, if you're on a search portal and you're looking at the property photos on a carousel, for example, you're going to learn about the home room by room or piece by piece. But a floor plan gives an easy view, way to understand a quick glimpse of the entire property. It allows you to see how big the rooms are and the flow between them. You can learn if the current furniture will fit, And most importantly, your clients will learn about the property layout and if it's a good fit for them. So things that they might ask are the kids' bedrooms near the primary bedroom? Is there a spare room that we can use for an office space or a guest room that's out of the way of the main action of the house? Floor plans really are the easiest way to understand a property and if it makes sense and answer those questions. It can even help you tie in all the listing photos since they're typically just one room at a time. All right, so let's see if this next slide is going to pop up, and it sure isn't. That's a bummer. All right, so let's see. Is this the right one? Yes. Why are floor plans so important? Gives you an easy way for buyers to understand Oh, I already talked about this. I'm kind of a mess right now, guys. I'm sorry. This slideshow not moving with me is really just not jiving with my workday. Sorry for the technology issues. I might just give up on this slideshow altogether. All right, so now that I've got you thinking about the benefits of the floor plans and why you should add them to your listings, here is a few key things to highlight. First of all, it allows you to stand out when you include floor plans in the greater media. A real-world example that CubiCasa is seeing success with in including the floor plans is in listing presentations. So not only does it show the potential client the extra work that you'll put in marketing their home, but it also gives an easy touch point. And in the following days, you can share the floor plan that you created with the homeowner and go over your marketing game plan. Plus, because floor plans are gaining traction still, it's also a great way for you as to stand out as a listing agent, and for you to personally stand out as a forward-thinking, tech-savvy agent. Secondly, we previously learned that consumers want to see floor plans. It's an easy way to appeal to a potential home buyer and generate better qualified leads to let them know if the property fits their lifestyle before taking next steps. All right, outside of new listings, CubiCasa, and it's not showing this next slide. Maybe just Zoom is just not loving me right now. Resume slideshow. All right, there we go. I think I got it all figured out. All right, so we talked about floor plans in general. How does this lead to CubiCasa? CubiCasa started a few years ago as a redraw service, but it's evolved into this amazing mobile app. It allows you to quickly and easily scan the properties in just a few moments and create an accurate floor plan to showcase the layout of the home, and including the individual room dimensions that home buyers want to see. Let's go ahead and skip this next part, and then I'm going to show you a quick video on YouTube as soon as I can pull it up, because this slideshow is just not awesome for me today. I'm also going to put it in the chat. So in case the video does not display properly, you'll also be able to see it on your own time. Here it is. Sorry about that. Usually technology works a little bit better for me. All right, like I said, I'm also going to put this video in the chat just in case during the presentation mode, it acts a little bit wacky, like maybe the audio doesn't come through good. There is the chat. Here we go. And there's really nothing to hear, so you don't need to worry about audio. But this is kind of a little bit of an idea of what you can expect. So after you download the app, you're going to start the scanning process. So you start scanning and you want to hold the camera about shoulder length. You don't want to be too close. If you get too close to exterior walls, it'll give you a little warning. Even if the house is cluttered and messy and it's not ideal, right? You could still do a scan. None of that information is going to pop up in the floor plans that are sent to CubiCasa. You can scan the exterior spaces up to 5,000 square feet. So if you have a large patio, if you have ADUs, if you want to do the garage, if you have single stories, multi-stories, everything can be done in one single scan. It's a pretty easy process. It took me about 7 minutes my first time. So it's not super techy. You don't have to have a lot of equipment. When you're done, you upload your scan, you send it over to CubiCasa, and then they will send you the completed floor plan in about 24 hours. So it's a pretty cool product. You don't need to be super tech savvy. All you need really is the mobile device installed on your phone. And you can do scans pretty much of any property. One thing that I did was a scan of my own property. And that's kind of how I got started learning about how do I use CubiCasa? What works best for me? How do I do a scan? So those are all things that I would totally recommend. So we'll talk about what ARMLS pays for in just a moment. But what I also wanted to mention is outside of new listings, CubiCasa is a great way to provide helpful resources for your buyers. So if you want to supply this information to a buyer, my recommendation is to just ask the listing agent if you can do a scan before you actually do the scanning of a home. So you can see on a tour, you provide the floor plans and even a detailed report to help them make a decision to move forward. There's also an exciting new feature that CubiCasa has. It's called Snapchat. It's not Snapchat, snapshots. It allows you to take photos when you're scanning the property. You'll be able to get a floor plan report that shows exactly where each of those photos were taken. It's a really great way to highlight the key features in a space that aren't included in listing photos or things that first-time homebuyers typically don't think of, right? Like where's the water heater located? These usually aren't mentioned in the listing photos or things like the electrical panel. So you can even showcase items like that. All right. So doing a scan is not very long. It's about typically 5 to 7 minutes. There's no training, no additional software, nothing crazy that you have to do. It works on both Apple and Android products. If they're about 10 years or older, or younger, excuse me, you can use Apple and Android products. Um, let's see, what other things I want to tell you. It'll give you real-time feedback. So if you do a scan and you're not doing something right, it's going to tell you like, hey, make sure that you step away from that exterior wall or you need better lighting. It'll kind of guide you as you're going through the scanning process. So we already looked at the scan in real time, which is pretty awesome. It's also going to do things like curved walls. So if you're worried about a space that's kind of extra or different. Maybe it's not traditional. It'll do things like curved walls. The scanning works on all types of properties, whether it's multiple stories, has curved walls, like in the example that you see here. Pools, patios, ADUs, CubiCasa will capture it all in one single scan. So you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. So here's what ARMLS pays for. We will give you the light option, which is free for ARMLS subscribers. The scanning process works on all types of properties. Like I said, whether it be multi-story or have curved walls. You can do up to 5,000 square feet of a scanned area, and you'll get your scan back within 24 hours or less. Let's say you have a listing that's about, more than 5,000 square feet, 6,000, 7,000, or even higher than that. You can request that scan, but there is an extra fee for that, just because the production cost is a little bit more. So we will pay for the light version for you, not a problem. It's an a la carte basis. So you don't ever have to input credit card information. ARMLS pays for light. You can do 10 scans, you can do 100 scans. It's never an additional fee. But they do have other options available. So let's say you're like, well, light is awesome, but I want something different. So there are 3 different floor plans that you can get and request with CubiCasa. These show the most popular ones. Light is obviously the most popular one and the one that ARMLS pays for. Plus, we'll include furniture fixtures. So you'll see the appliances in the kitchen, fixtures in the bathroom and wet spaces like tubs, vanities, toilets, and you'll be allowed to customize the colors of your floor plan. It also includes 2 new products, which is the home report detailing key features of the home and snapshots, which allows you to take photos during your scan. The last option available is going to be Plus 3D, which includes everything that we just talked about in light and then the 2D scans. But you'll also get 3D floor plans. The 3D floor plans will have color and texture matching options to the space and include loose furniture like sofas, beds, tables to help you better visualize the space. All right. Go back. In addition to the options that we just looked at, CubiCasa also offers GLA or gross living area reports. It is typically used by appraisers, and I'll give you a closer look at this in just a moment. The light, which is the free basic floor plan, will be turned around within 24 hours and cover the properties up to 5,000 square feet. But of course, like I said, there is an additional production cost. So if you need it in 6 hours or less, they can get it to you. Normally it's a $15 fee, but with your ARMLS discount, it's $11.25. If you need to do a scan of a property above 5,000 square feet, and like I said, it's a very small number in FlexMLS. I think the last time I looked, there was about 600 properties that are active that are above 5,000 square feet. So the vast majority of the 20,000 listings in FlexMLS are less than 5,000 square feet. But of course, if you are in that situation, you have something over 5,000 square feet, it's typically a $25 fee in production. But with your ARMLS discount, it goes down to $18.75. All right, so if you do want the 3D floor plans, again, you get discounts. So instead of the $65, it's $48.75. If you want a video rendering, which is a short walkthrough of the rendered space, that price goes to $63.75. And then CAD files, if you need CAD files, this is good for people that are doing some remodeling. It goes down to $26.25. So those are all additional things that you can choose to. Obviously, for your first couple scans, stick to the basics, stick to the light. Usually that's going to suit your needs. You won't have any problems. You won't need to do any additional upgrades. This is an example of the GLA with or without sketches. So essentially, on this GLA file, it's going to show you the items in green, which is the livable space. And then the items in red is the non-livable space. And it is the aligned with the ANSI certification files, just in case there's appraisers that happen to use this software. I did mention that home report and snapshots, which is a little bit new. If you kind of look at the report on the right-hand side, you're going to see every time if you want the home report or snapshots, it asks you to take a picture. Those pictures are going to be on a legend for the document that you provide on the home report. So you'll see in those little gold bubbles, each photo that you took and how it corresponds to the property and the key features. Also, you have access to the AI-powered virtual tours. So if you want a CubiCasa tour, it's going to be in the 3D Plus package. You also get a copy of a hosting site, a URL that you can add to your listings or share on social media. So if tours are your cup of tea, that might be something that you want to think about. Let's say, for example, this is not your cup of tea at all, right? You're like, I hate taking listing photos, videos and virtual tours is not my cup of tea. CubiCasa does have a list of preferred photographers and they are geolocated. I'll show you where they live on your CubiCasa dashboard. But essentially, if you're like, I don't do this, it's just not my cup of tea, I'm not great with this type of technology, you can always hire a CubiCasa preferred photographer. And the CubiCasa preferred photographers agreed to basically put a floor plan on every listing package that they do with their agents. In addition to the CubiCasa preferred photographers, I have another list of photographers for you, the ARMLS certified photographers. I'll show you where they live on the ARMLS website, but essentially they would have access to your media files so they can upload all the photos, virtual tours, floor plans, whatever it is that you choose to work out with the certified photographers. They definitely are out there and they exist and they can take care of all this for you if it's not your cup of tea. So you can go ahead and scan that if you want, but I'll show you where it lives on the dashboard. CubiCasa does offer 24/7 customer support, and they also have a dedicated email for all of the agents. It's mlshelp@cubicasa.com. I've used the CubiCasa support. I usually just go through the chat window. It's super easy to use, not a problem. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and look at the sign up process. I'll show you how to access CubiCasa from your dashboard. But before I do that, I'm going to show you that screenshot one more time of how to do that scan so that way you can get your MLS credentials linked to ARMLS. And again, if you're not scanning it right now, not a big deal. I'll show you how to access it via FlexMLS. Excuse me. All right. So I'm going to stop this presentation. It wasn't working that well for me anyway. And then we are going to look at armls.com. So one of the things that I did want to show you real quick is on our landing page, we do have more information about CubiCasa. So if you're like, I missed some of the information or that PowerPoint presentation was totally wacky, I don't understand half of what you said, that's fine. No worries. You can go to armls.com and then learn more about CubiCasa on our dedicated microsite. We also have some videos to help you get started. So I'm going to do a scan throughout this call, but if you missed that section or if you want to watch it again, I would definitely recommend scanning a property and then making a good scan. Those are two really good videos to watch. They're probably about 5 minutes or less. And then we also hyperlink the information to download the apps. So if you have the Apple, go to the Apple App Store. If you have an Android, go to the Google Play Store. The apps are free, of course. And then we have some additional training classes available. So essentially what you're getting today, you'll get at the ARMLS traditional class. Underneath the MLS tab, this is where you'd find your list of certified photographers. So here you can search through a list. They are organized alphabetically. We don't have any favorites. If you don't already work with a certified photographer, I would just recommend you cruise through this list. They're going to tell you what they do. So let's just scroll down a little bit more so I'm not playing favorites. Let's look at Blue Dreams Photography. They do photography, they do videos, they do drone, they do 360 tours. Here's their contact information, or you can look at their website. So again, a lot of these photographers do offer many services. You just want to connect with them and figure out which one is best for you. After you've built that relationship and you've tagged an ARMLS certified photographer on your listing, they will have access to the media files. So they'll be able to upload all their photos, virtual tours, floor plans, 360 tours, drone footage, whatever it is that you hired them for. So that's how you find an ARMLS certified photographer. I'm going to go ahead and log into FlexMLS. I want to show you how to access this information via Flex. So if you're on ARMLS with me, the main landing page, you're just going to click on that FlexMLS banner and you can get logged in. I'm sure the majority of you know how to get logged in. And I see a couple of questions. How does that work? a scan that you take a photo and highlight items. That would be the Snapchat. I keep calling it Snapchat. I'm gonna really get in trouble here. The snapshots. So it'll prompt you to take a photo. And once you take a photo, it'll be logged in as the snapshot. It's not provided in the basics. So what I would recommend you do if you're going to start using that service is do a light scan, the basic floor plan scan, and then you can always modify it at a later time if you want to do that I want to say Snapchat, the snapshots are the videos that show you the best way. Yep, exactly what I showed you on ARMLS.com. We'll go back to that real quick. I'll just go ahead and upload this to the chat so that way you guys can bookmark this. My two videos that I recommend that I really liked was scanning a property and then making a good scan. Those are the two videos that I would recommend, but I'm going to do a scan for you. I'll show you what it looks like in real time. All right, so we were going to Flex MLS, right? Just in case you didn't know about the certified photographers, I'll show you real quick. When you're adding a listing, this is where you would add your certified photographer. So if there's somebody from the ARMLS list that you're like, oh, I'm going to work with this person, you just add them in and then they'll have access to your media files. So as an ARMLS certified photographer, they've taken the rules course, they know how to access media, and they have their own credentials to get logged into that media section. Additionally, I want to point out to you, this is kind of new to Flex MLS. Let's go to change listing. If you have a listing inside Flex MLS right now, or you're uploading one in the next couple of days, underneath the media files, I do want to let you know that floor plans is its own unique section now. This means it's searchable inside Flex MLS. In the past, I would say before February, I think we rolled this out in February, you would add all floor plans to the photos section. Moving forward, you want to add any floor plans that you get to its own section for floor plans. That way it's uniquely searchable inside Flex MLS. So if you wanted to search for listings that had floor plans, you would go to additional search options and then select floor plans. And then I would type in at least a minimum number. So that way it's going to start looking for listings that have floor plans added. And I'll go ahead and type in a maximum. Hopefully it goes a little bit faster. There we go. So there's about 2,000 listings in Flex MLS that have floor plans added. It's a uniquely searchable field at this point. So start using that feature when you're uploading listings. I don't know what Flex is doing right now. There we go. So they still live underneath the photos section, and it's always going to be like one of the either number one or number two photo, if you needed to look specifically at floor plans. So that's a little bit on the searching side in case you needed that. Let's get logged into CubiCasa. So how do you access it? I'm going to click on menu. You can do a keyword search for Cubi, and it's going to be right there underneath products. If you're not going to do a keyword search, you can just scroll down to products. And underneath all these product options, you'll see CubiCasa. Like I said, we have it already logged in or linked together. So if you did the scan while I was going through my presentation, it probably took you to this landing page. So what you see here and that QR code that you scanned, it's the same thing. If this is your first time accessing CubiCasa, you're going to click sign up. Since I already have an account, I'm going to go ahead and click on log in. And then this is what the dashboard looks like. Of course, you can view it on your mobile device, but since I have access to a PC right now, I'm going to just show you a little bit about the dashboard information, and then we'll take a couple of minutes to do a scan in real life. All right, so on this dashboard, you're going to see right at the top a list of CubiCasa certified photographers. Remember, these are photographers that are geolocated for your area. They have a contract with CubiCasa. They agreed to put a floor plan, a CubiCasa floor plan with every media appointment or booking contract that they have with an agent. Underneath that, I'm going to see the orders that I've had in the last 30 days. There's no recurring billing. It's not a subscription. It's an a la carte type of thing. If you did need access to your billing file, maybe you need it for taxes, that information will live here. But I don't have a credit card on file. I didn't do any payment information. All the scans that I've done have been free. And like I said, you can do one scan, you can do a million scans. If you're doing the light option, you never pay a fee. So here is a list of scans that I've completed. If it says ready, that means I've already sent it out to CubiCasa and they've completed a floor plan for me. If it says draft, that means I didn't finish the process, right? It's just kind of living here and hanging out. Maybe I didn't like it. At this point, I can choose to just delete that order. Or maybe I want to make an upgrade. How about that? Let's go to my ready scan. Here is what light looks like. I think I just scanned one room for the office in Priest, which is the Tempe ARMLS office. I scanned one room. Here I can download it. So you can download a JPEG, PNG, SVG, or a PDF. You don't want to do the PDF file when you're adding information inside FlexMLS. So don't do PDF options. I would do a JPEG or a PNG. If you've already completed a scan and you want to do an upgrade, so you go from the light, which is the basic one, to 2D or 3D, you can definitely request edits, or you can request to change this information, and then you would just pay for that information a la carte. If I did want the GLA file, I could pay for that if I need it. Other than that, that's a little bit about your orders, where they live, how they look. Now I'm going to try and do a real scan. So I am in the I am in the Chandler office next to WeServe. So I'm in an office right now. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get my phone to do the screen sharing so y'all can see that. Give me just a minute while I get my phone connected. The problem is while I'm doing a scan, you're not going to be able to hear me because I'll be moving through the scanning process. So just be mindful, I'll be doing a scan, but you probably won't hear me talking, maybe really, really faintly. I don't have a mic that travels with me. My phone is almost ready to go. And I'll show you the process start to finish. And I'm going to stop sharing this screen and share a different screen. One moment. Share this screen. All right. So everybody should now see my iPhone. My iPhone is up. It's here right now. I'm going to go through the scanning process in real time. So I already have the CubiCasa app downloaded. You can see that. Well, maybe you can't see it yet. Let's do share. There we go. All right, so everybody should now see my iPhone, right? Let's move that out of the way. So now that I have my iPhone, I've already installed the app. It's going to be towards the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and open up the CubiCasa app. Now it's going to give you some places to get started, right? It's going to say, well, what do you want to do? What we're going to do right now is kind of scroll down a little bit. And then towards the bottom where you see home, orders, scan, I'm going to go ahead and click on scan. It's going to ask me, well, what am I scanning? In this instance, I'm going to say a single house. Just make that selection and press continue. It will geolocate where I'm at. So it's going to find out where I'm at and say, is this the address? I'm going to say yes. And now it's asking me to prepare for the scanning process. So here's an important thing that I would do before you start scanning. Do a test run, right? Do a walkthrough of the property, especially if it's a really big property. You might want to walk through and route your path, right? Where am I going to start? I'm going to start at the front door, and then I'm going to curve to the right and go, counterclockwise. You want to make sure that you have all the lights on, all the window coverings up, open up all the doors, before you do a scan. I'm not going to have the opportunity to do that, so I'm going to show you what it looks like as I'm opening up doors. But that's a good idea. So those are some of the best practices. Have the lights on, have all the window coverings, open, and then open up all the doors. I'm going to go ahead and press continue. It's giving me, again, some best practices. You want to point the phone straight ahead of you, walk in a straight line, turn slowly. Uh, Another cool thing that I learned is don't walk too fast, right? Just walk at a slower pace. You'll capture the whole property in one long scan. So like I said, if you're going to walk through the property, you're going to go upstairs, downstairs. If you're going to show the patio or the garage or the pool area, you just want to keep that scanning on. You go through the whole property in one long scan. All right, so now it's asking me to continue, and it's basically giving me the green light to start the scanning process. So I'm going to press Let's Scan, and then I'm going to scan this office. I happen to be in one of the office rooms, so I'm going to press record and start walking. You're not going to hear me anymore. I'm walking away from the desk area. But I'll show you what the scan looks like, and I'll move too close so that way you get an idea. Alrighty, I'm back. Now that I'm back, I'm gonna go ahead and press the stop button. And it's asking me, are you finished with the scan? Do you want to submit this up to CubiCasa? I'm gonna say yes. And then that scan is now going to CubiCasa. You just got a tour of the ARMLS office that's connected to WeServe. So I'm going to go ahead and submit the button that says send for processing. If I'm not ready to send it, maybe I want to review it, I can definitely save for later. But at this point, I'm done. I'm going to click on send for processing. And now it's going to ask me for some pricing options. Do I want plus? Do I want plus 3D? Do I want light? Remember, ARMLS is paying for light, so that's the one that I'm going to request. And then I'll press continue. But before I do that, just remember you can look at the details. It's going to show you what it provides, right? So earlier, someone had asked me about the home report. If I click on details, it's going to show me those are all the things that I get. I get the home report, I get snapshots. Again, it's $15 if you want to try that option. But everybody should just start with light and then upgrade as needed if you need a different type of scan or a different type of floor plan service for your clients. I'm going to go ahead and press continue. And then it's just giving me my pricing information. I didn't add anything extra like a CAD file or a GLA report. I'm not going to choose those options. So at this point, I'm going to press continue for $0. If I have additional notes, I can add additional notes. I'm just getting the basic one, and then I'll press continue. Nothing else that I want to do here. I don't need it rushed for $15. 24 hours is fine. At this point, I'm going to press place order. It's uploading my video that I just took. I think it took me about 4 minutes to do that scan. Of course, it's an office space, not a single family residential, but it took me about 4 minutes. For my property at my house, it took me about 7 minutes for my first time. All right, that's it. I'm done. CubiCasa has my order request. When it's done, it's going to live underneath orders, right? So underneath all, when they're done, they're going to send it back to me and say it's ready. All right, so that's a little bit about CubiCasa and what it looks like. I'm going to talk a little bit about ARMLS and some additional learning resources, especially if those have been on these types of calls and you've never taken a class with ARMLS. That might be something that you want to check out. See if I can get the right screen to share. And of course, if you have questions, we have about 15 minutes left. Make sure you ask any questions that you might be having. I'll be able to answer those for you. All right, so I'm on sharing the right screen. All right, I'm on armls.com. Couple things. Underneath support, who do I contact? Super important reference guide. There's lots of different entities in real estate. It's not always ARMLS that you need. So if you had questions about continuing education or a form like an ER or an EA form, it's going to direct you who to contact. So your association for continuing education and then AAR for ER or EA forms. But there are lots of times that you're going to call ARMLS will help you for the vast majority of things. You can do a live chat, you can do a phone call, you can even call, you can send us an email. So if a phone call is not your cup of tea, you might want to do the live chat or contact ARMLS via email. Underneath support, the ARMLS blog, super important. I like to think of it as like a miniature library or a database of information. So if you have a question and there's not a human being to help you, let's say maybe your broker's on vacation or your mentor's in bed for the evening and you have a question that you need answered, I would look at the blog. Like I said, it's a little miniature library really designed to get you in and out and on with the rest of your life. So if I had a question about, let's say floor plans. We did make a blog about that new addition to floor plans. So if you missed it during class today, you can always go to ARMLS blog and then check out what I was talking about. So floor plans are uniquely searchable in FlexMLS now. So it talks about how to search and then also how to add it to your listings. You can sign up for the blog. Every time we publish, you'll get a new a notification in your inbox stating that ARMLS has updated a blog or sent out a new blog. We typically publish once or twice a week. You just click on that red banner that says receive our blog via email. Next thing I want to show you is rules. Be prepared. You're going to get an email in about 15 minutes. ARMLS, Data Integrity Team, the Board of Directors, they've made a change to rules and regulations. A couple of things that you might want to check out. So in about 15 minutes, you will get that email. You can check out the rules and regulations publish change. Typically, rules and regulation changes happen once, sometimes twice a year. But yeah, you're going to get that email in about 15 minutes. So you have some preview information coming your way. If you want to learn more about rules, you can take the rules course. You can read the rules and regulations penalty policy, the inappropriate language policy. So penalty policy here, inappropriate language policy, and then the rules and regulations PDF. The changes are already live. They are living on this document, on this website right now. So they have changed. They're live for you to view, but you'll get the notification of what changed in about 15 minutes. Underneath the Learning tab, there are classes. ARMLS has tons of classes available for you. With your 477 subscriber fee, 476 that you pay annually to us, you get access to all of the products, all of the classes. So definitely take advantage of it. It's just not FlexMLS that you have access to. So here are our online classes. These are self-paced and open 24/7. You can take one section, you can take all sections. You can take these classes one time or 100 times. It's basically an alternate to a traditional classroom. Jumpstart is for new agents. If you're new, if you know someone that's new, I would recommend signing up for Jumpstart in June. We'll open up registration come May 25th. It's a 3-hour seminar style course. They'll basically teach you everything you need to know to jumpstart your career and get started with ARMLS. And then at the bottom, we have our live classes. So we update our class schedule on the 25th of every month. You'll see the April class schedule ready to go. I'm going to teach CubiCasa again on the 30th. So if there's things that you missed in class today, or, my PowerPoint wasn't working awesome for me, you can definitely sign up to take that class again. It's an hour-long class. Typically, most of our classes are about 90 minutes, with the exception of searching and mapping and FlexMLS. It is a 2.5-hour class. We cover searching and mapping, and then the second half of class is subscriptions and portals. One question came in, how accurate are the floor plans? Super accurate. If you want to cross-reference this information and scan your own property, that might be a good idea. But like I said, they're aligned to the ANSI standards for the appraisers. I'm sure appraisers have their own software, and there's different types of things that they do to do scans and get floor plans, but it's super accurate. CubiCasa has spent a lot of time developing this floor plan scan system and software, so they definitely make it as accurate as possible. Of course, if you do a scan and you're like, this doesn't seem right, you might want to try a secondary scan, right? Maybe you move too fast. Maybe there's rooms with that were closed doors or locked doors, and you weren't able to get into that space. But test it out for yourself. That's what I did. I did my own property scan. What I recorded with the floor plan and how it looks was super accurate, like almost 100% to a T. And I think the actual numbers were plus or minus just a few. Like my house has 1,500 square feet, maybe it's 1,509. And I think that's what I got to the T on my actual property scan. So I haven't seen any discrepancies. CubiCasa works really, really hard to make sure that their scans are as accurate as possible. And of course, I don't have any agents calling me and saying, oh, I tried this, it didn't work, or it wasn't accurate information. So I'm not getting that feedback through the agents. All right, so that is what's on ARMLS.com. Again, your homework assignment today is sign up for the blog. Maybe check out another class at ARMLS. If you want to start the scanning process, my recommendation would be to download the information. So we'll go back to ARMLS real quick. And then I'm going to go to the home page. And then click on that CubiCasa banner. It is a new product. So you might want to watch some of these videos, download the app. Once you've downloaded the app, do a scan, right? Do it of your office space, do it of your home. You don't have to publish it. You don't have to share it. It's really for you and your own knowledge. If you have any clients that are wanting to do an open house, just make sure that you get permission from the listing agent to scan the property. Again, none of the clutter or anything that's in the house is going to be displayed on a scan. So you don't have to worry about that information coming through. And then, of course, if you have listings, definitely go back and scan those properties and add a floor plan and then add it to maybe your upcoming listings. ARMLS is already paying for the light version for you. You can do those scans a bajillion times. You'll never be charged a fee for the light floor plans. At the end of class today, I'll send out an email to Kelly to hopefully get out to all of you on the call today. It'll have my contact information if you do have additional questions. Sometimes I'm not always available to answer questions. My recommendation is to contact support. So they're open typically 7 days a week, limited hours on Sundays, maybe something like 10 to 2. And then, of course, you can send an email or do a chat with support. All right, that's all I got for you today. I'll stick around if anybody has questions or if there's something else that you want me to cover. Kelly, if there's anything you need to touch base on, you could take the floor. Other than that, have a great rest of your day, everybody.
Thank you, Wendy, so much.
My pleasure, Kelly.
Yep. I'll hold off to see if anyone has any questions before I close this down. Looks like we're good, Wendy.
Awesome. Have a great day. I'll see
Yeah.
you soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys. Thank you so much.